In 2020 in San Francisco, a young woman named Caitlin met a man named Michael through a dating app. They decided to spend their date at a hotel. But upon arrival, Caitlin discovered that Michael was actually working with a gang of robbers. They locked her in her room and stole all her valuables. Caitlin was lonely and missed love. She worked for a large real estate firm and made good money. She lacked romance in her life. She often used various dating apps, hoping to find her soulmate. One day she saw Michael's profile and was immediately interested in him. He was tall, handsome, and charming. He wrote that he was an architect and loved to travel. He also wrote that he was looking for a serious relationship and wanted to start a family. Caitlin texted him, and soon they began chatting. Michael was very polite and complimented her. He told her about his projects and dreams. He was also interested in her life and work. Caitlin felt that they had found common ground and that he really understood her. She was happy and excited. A week later, Michael asked her to meet for real. He said that he had booked a room at a luxury hotel and wanted to give her an unusual date. He said he wanted to surprise her and give her an unforgettable evening. Caitlin agreed and looked forward to the day of the date. She arrived at the hotel at 7 p.m. and took the elevator up to the 15th floor. She found room 1508 and knocked on the door. Michael opened the door, smiling broadly. He was dressed in an elegant suit and looked stunning. He hugged her and kissed her on the cheek. "Hello, beautiful. I'm so happy to see you," he said. "Hi, Michael. It's good to see you too," she replied. Come in. I have everything ready for our date," he said, letting her go ahead of him. Caitlin went into the room and looked around. It was a large and luxurious room with a bed, a sofa, a TV, a minibar, and a bathroom. There was a bottle of champagne and 2 glasses on the table. On the bed were roses and chocolates. In the corner was a guitar case. "Wow, this is amazing. You are such a romantic," Caitlin exclaimed. "You deserve the best, honey. I want you to feel like a princess," Michael said. "You are so sweet. Thank you for everything," Caitlin said, hugging him. "You're welcome, honey. I want you to be happy," Michael said, kissing her on the lips. They kissed softly and passionately. Caitlin felt her heart racing. She thought this might be the beginning of something bigger and more serious. She thought that Michael might be the one and only. Michael pulled away from her and smiled. "Wait here a minute. I'll be right back. I want to show you something," he said. "Okay, I'm waiting," Caitlin said. Michael left the room and closed the door behind him. Caitlin looked at her watch. It was 7:15. She thought he must have gone to get flowers or a gift. She decided to take advantage of the time and freshen up in the bathroom. She grabbed her bag and went into the bathroom. As Caitlin freshened up in the bathroom, she couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and anticipation. She admired herself in the mirror, adjusting her hair and applying a touch of lip gloss. The luxurious surroundings of the hotel room made her feel like she was living a fairy tale. After a few minutes, Caitlin finished freshening up and returned to the main room. She looked around, expecting Michael to have returned with a surprise. However, to her surprise, he was nowhere to be found. She checked her phone to see if he had messaged her, but there were no notifications. Puzzled, Caitlin walked over to the table with the champagne and noticed that the bottle was unopened. It was still as it had been when they first entered the room. Concern began to creep into her mind, and she started to feel a knot in her stomach. She decided to call Michael to find out what was going on. As she reached for her phone in her bag, she realized something was wrong. Her bag felt lighter than before. Panic surged through her veins as she unzipped it and saw that her wallet and phone were missing. A sinking feeling washed over her as she quickly realized what had happened. Caitlin rushed to the door, hoping it wasn't locked, but her fears were confirmed. The door was locked from the outside, trapping her in the room. She pounded on the door, calling out for help, but the hotel hallway was eerily quiet. It seemed as though Michael and his gang had planned this meticulously, leaving her trapped and helpless. As she paced around the room, her mind raced with thoughts of what to do next. She needed to find a way out and report the robbery to the authorities. The guitar case in the corner caught her attention. She walked over to it and opened it, hoping to find something useful. To her surprise, nestled inside the guitar case was a small toolkit. It contained a set of lock-picking tools, which gave her a glimmer of hope. Caitlin had watched enough movies and TV shows to have a basic understanding of how lockpicking worked. She took a deep breath, determined to escape this situation. Using the lock-picking tools, Caitlin began working on the lock, her hands trembling with a mix of fear and adrenaline. After several nerve-wracking attempts, she managed to unlock the door. With a surge of relief, she stepped out into the hotel hallway, ready to seek help and put an end to this harrowing experience. Caitlin quickly located the nearest hotel staff member and explained what had happened. The hotel staff called the police, and Caitlin provided them with all the information she had about Michael and the gang. She hoped that they would be able to catch them and retrieve her stolen belongings. In the aftermath of the incident, Caitlin learned a valuable lesson about the risks of online dating and the importance of personal safety. She became more cautious and vigilant, taking extra precautions when meeting new people. Despite the unfortunate turn of events, she didn't let this experience dampen her spirits entirely. She remained hopeful that one day she would find genuine love and companionship with someone who deserved her trust and affection. 11. 2. In the year 2018, in the vibrant city of Berlin, a young woman named Lena found herself embarking on an unexpected adventure. Lena, a smart and independent individual, had agreed to a date with a man she had met through a popular dating app. Little did she know that this date would take an unforeseen turn, leading her down a path filled with danger and intrigue. It was a chilly evening in Berlin as Lena nervously made her way to the designated meeting spot. She had exchanged a few messages with a man, whose name was Marcus, and he seemed charming and intriguing. Clutching her coat tightly around her, Lena's excitement mixed with apprehension as she wondered what the night had in store for her. As the minutes ticked by, Marcus finally arrived, exuding a confident and charismatic aura. Lena couldn't help but feel a flutter of anticipation as they exchanged greetings and embarked on their date. They decided to explore the city together, their conversation flowing effortlessly as they strolled through the illuminated streets of Berlin. Hours passed, and the night grew darker. Marcus, having gained Lena's trust, suggested they retire to a nearby hotel for a more intimate setting. Lena, intrigued by Marcus's charm and magnetism, agreed, unaware of the sinister plan that lurked beneath his charismatic facade. Entering the hotel, Lena felt a flicker of unease but brushed it off, attributing it to her own nervousness and excitement. However, as they entered the room, Marcus's demeanor began to shift, revealing his true intentions. With a menacing glint in his eyes, he turned to Lena, his voice laced with menace. Marcus. Menacingly, "You see, Lena, this was never meant to be a romantic encounter. I've been observing you, studying your patterns and vulnerabilities. And now, my dear, it's time for you to pay." Lena's heart raced as she realized the dire situation she had unknowingly walked into. Fear gripped her, but she resolved to stay strong and composed, searching for any opportunity to escape this perilous predicament. Lena, steadying her voice, "What do you want from me? I don't have much money or valuables. Please, let me go." Marcus sneered, his eyes narrowing with malicious intent. Marcus, coldly, "Oh, my dear Lena, you underestimate the value you possess. I know the secrets you hold, the connections you have. Hand them over, and your life will be spared." Lena's mind raced, desperately seeking a way out of this harrowing situation. She knew she couldn't rely on anyone else but herself. As Marcus grew increasingly impatient, Lena devised a daring plan to outwit her captor and ensure her escape. In the year 2018, in the vibrant city of Berlin, a young woman named Lena found herself embarking on an unexpected adventure. Lena, a smart and independent individual, had agreed to a date with a man she had met through a popular dating app. Little did she know that this date would take an unforeseen turn, leading her down a path filled with danger and intrigue. It was a chilly evening in Berlin as Lena nervously made her way to the designated meeting spot. She had exchanged a few messages with a man whose name was Marcus, and he seemed charming and intriguing. Clutching her coat tightly around her, Lena's excitement mixed with apprehension as she wondered what the night had in store for her. As the minutes ticked by, Marcus finally arrived, exuding a confident and charismatic aura. Lena couldn't help but feel a flutter of anticipation as they exchanged greetings and embarked on their date. They decided to explore the city together, their conversation flowing effortlessly as they strolled through the illuminated streets of Berlin. Hours passed, and the night grew darker. Marcus, having gained Lena's trust, suggested they retire to a nearby hotel for a more intimate setting. Lena, intrigued by Marcus's charm and magnetism, agreed, unaware of the sinister plan that lurked beneath his charismatic facade. Entering the hotel, Lena felt a flicker of unease but brushed it off, attributing it to her own nervousness and excitement. However, as they entered the room, Marcus's demeanor began to shift, revealing his true intentions. With a menacing glint in his eyes, he turned to Lena, his voice laced with menace. Marcus. Menacingly, you see, Lena, this was never meant to be a romantic encounter. I've been observing you, studying your patterns and vulnerabilities. And now, my dear, it's time for you to pay. Lena's heart raced as she realized the dire situation she had unknowingly walked into. Fear gripped her, but she resolved to stay strong and composed, searching for any opportunity to escape this perilous predicament. Lena, steadying her voice, what do you want from me? I don't have much money or valuables. Please, let me go. Marcus sneered, his eyes narrowing with malicious intent. Marcus, coldly, oh, my dear Lena, you underestimate the value you possess. I know the secrets you hold, the connections you have. Hand them over, and your life will be spared. Lena's mind raced, desperately seeking a way out of this harrowing situation. She knew she couldn't rely on anyone else but herself. As Marcus grew increasingly impatient, Lena devised a daring plan to outwit her captor and ensure her escape. Taking a deep breath, Lena mustered her courage and decided to play along with Marcus's demands. She knew that she needed to buy herself some time, to find an opportunity to break free from his clutches. Lena, feigning compliance. Okay, Marcus, I understand. Though I need a moment to gather everything you're asking for. Please give me a moment. Marcus, momentarily satisfied with Lena's response, leaned against the hotel room door, his eyes fixed on her every move. Lena's mind raced, trying to come up with a plan that would catch Marcus off guard. As Lena moved toward her bag, she subtly reached into her pocket, gripping her smartphone tightly. She had an idea. While she didn't have much time, she hoped that a swift message to her best friend, Emma, would alert someone to her dire situation. Using the utmost caution, Lena began typing a distress message to Emma, providing her with the hotel's name, room number, and a brief summary of what had transpired. She pressed send, hoping that Emma would see it in time and take immediate action. Marcus, growing impatient, narrowed his gaze at Lena, sensing that something was amiss. Marcus, suspiciously, what are you doing over there? Don't try anything foolish, Lena. Lena, keeping her composure, quickly slipped her phone back into her pocket and continued her act. Lena, feigning nervousness. I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm just trying to make sure I have everything you want. Please just give me a few more moments. Marcus's impatience was palpable, but Lena's message had been sent, and all she could do now was hope that help was on the way. As she gathered a few insignificant items from her bag, she noticed a small, sharp object, a hairpin. A spark of hope ignited within her. With Marcus still focused on her every move, Lena subtly concealed the hairpin in her hand, her fingers tightly wrapped around it. She knew that her only chance of escape relied on her ability to catch Marcus off guard. Lena, placing the items on the table. "Here, Marcus, this is everything I have. Please, just let me go." Marcus, momentarily distracted by his triumph, took a step toward the table, his gaze shifting from Lena to the gathered items. It was the moment Lena had been waiting for. Summoning every ounce of courage, Lena lunged toward Marcus, the hairpin extended toward him. Caught off guard, Marcus stumbled backward, momentarily disoriented. In that split second, Lena seized the opportunity, sprinting toward the hotel room door. As Lena reached the door, she could hear Marcus recovering from the surprise attack. With a burst of adrenaline, she flung the door open and raced down the hotel corridor, her heart pounding in her chest. She didn't look back, knowing that her best chance of survival was to put as much distance between herself and Marcus as possible. Lena's desperate sprint led her through the dimly lit hallways, down flights of stairs, and finally out into the bustling streets of Berlin. She quickly hailed a passing taxi and climbed in, her hands trembling with a mix of fear and relief. Safe in the taxi, Lena took a moment to compose herself, grateful for her narrow escape. She knew that her ordeal wasn't over yet. The police would need to be involved, and Marcus had to be brought to justice. As the taxi sped away, Lena dialed the emergency hotline, recounting her terrifying encounter and providing them with all the details. She hoped that her bravery and quick thinking would help ensure that no one else would fall victim to Marcus's sinister schemes. From that day forward, Lena's experience served as a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in the world of online dating. She became an advocate for safety awareness, sharing her story and urging others to exercise caution and vigilance when meeting strangers. Lena's resilience and determination turned her harrowing experience into a catalyst for change, empowering others to stay safe and be mindful in their own journeys. In the year 2019, in the vibrant city of Toronto, a young woman named Sophia found herself at the mercy of fate. Sophia, a 28-year-old graphic designer with a passion for art and adventure, had recently decided to give online dating a chance. Little did she know that this decision would lead her down a treacherous path, filled with unexpected twists and turns. One fateful evening, Sophia matched with a man named Alex on a popular dating app. Their conversations were filled with charm, wit, and shared interests. Intrigued by Alex's magnetic personality, Sophia agreed to meet him in person. They decided to rendezvous at a luxurious hotel situated in the heart of downtown Toronto. The date was set for a cool autumn evening, with the leaves turning shades of fiery red and golden yellow. Sophia's heart raced with a mixture of anticipation and nervousness as she entered the hotel lobby, her eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of Alex. Finally, her gaze fell upon a man who matched his profile picture. He stood near the entrance, clad in a tailored suit, exuding an air of confidence that instantly drew Sophia towards him. Sophia approached Alex with a bright smile, unaware of the sinister secret he harbored. As they exchanged pleasantries, Sophia noticed a subtle change in Alex's demeanor. His charming facade melted away, revealing a coldness in his eyes. Before Sophia could comprehend the situation, she found herself surrounded by a group of menacing individuals who materialized seemingly out of thin air. Panic gripped Sophia's heart as she realized she had unwittingly stumbled upon an organized group of robbers. Fear coursed through her veins as they demanded her valuables, threatening her with violence if she didn't comply. Sophia's mind raced, desperately seeking a way to escape this dire predicament. She contemplated fighting back, but the overwhelming odds stacked against her made it seem like an impossible feat. Reluctantly, Sophia handed over her belongings, hoping that it would appease her captors. However, the robbers, driven by greed, were not satisfied with their ill-gotten gains. They saw Sophia's vulnerability as an opportunity for further extortion, demanding a hefty sum of money in exchange for her freedom. Sophia's heart sank as she realized that her ordeal was far from over. Struggling to keep her composure, she pleaded with her captors, explaining that she couldn't produce the exorbitant amount they demanded. The room felt suffocating, and time seemed to stretch endlessly as Sophia grappled with her desperate situation. Just as despair threatened to consume her, a glimmer of hope flickered in Sophia's eyes. She remembered her quick thinking and resourcefulness, qualities that had helped her navigate numerous challenges in her life. Determined to reclaim her freedom, she hatched a daring plan within the confines of her own mind. With each passing moment, Sophia observed the robbers, studying their movements and interactions. She became acutely aware of their strengths and weaknesses, identifying an opportunity to exploit their lack of coordination. Drawing upon her knowledge of the hotel's layout, Sophia plotted her escape, meticulously calculating every step. As the tension in the room reached its zenith, Sophia made her move. Seizing a moment of distraction, she swiftly darted towards the hotel's emergency exit, her heart pounding in her chest. The robbers, caught off guard by her sudden burst of courage, gave chase, their shouts echoing through the hotel corridors. Sophia's adrenaline-fueled sprint led her through a maze of hallways, her mind focused solely on evading capture. She pushed her body to its limits, driven by an indomitable will to survive. Behind her, the sounds of her pursuers grew fainter, giving her a glimmer of hope that she might just make it out alive. With every ounce of strength she had left, Sophia burst through the emergency exit and into the cool night air. Gasping for breath, she realized that she had managed to outrun her would-be captors. Relief washed over her, but she knew she couldn't let her guard down just yet. Sophia hailed a passing taxi and quickly got inside, instructing the driver to take her to the nearest police station. As the taxi sped through the city streets, Sophia's mind raced, replaying the harrowing events of the evening. She knew she had narrowly escaped a potentially disastrous situation, and felt grateful for her quick thinking and determination. Arriving at the police station, Sophia poured out her story to the officers, providing them with every detail she could recall. They listened attentively, assuring her that they would do everything in their power to bring the criminals to justice. Sophia felt a sense of relief, knowing that the authorities were now involved, working to ensure that no one else would fall victim to this organized group of robbers. In the days that followed, Sophia worked closely with the police, providing them with any additional information that could aid in their investigation. She cooperated fully, determined to help bring the perpetrators to justice and prevent them from victimizing anyone else. The news of Sophia's ordeal spread throughout Toronto, serving as a stark reminder of the dangers that could lurk behind the enticing facade of online dating. People became more vigilant, taking extra precautions when meeting strangers and sharing personal information. Sophia's courage in sharing her story also inspired others to come forward with their own experiences, fostering a sense of community resilience and support. Months passed, and the diligent efforts of law enforcement paid off. The organized group of robbers was apprehended, thanks in part to Sophia's cooperation and the evidence she provided. Their reign of terror was brought to an end, and justice was served.